Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story with us.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
We are trying to make a difference with what has happened to you, and this is your real everyday life right now, every moment. You and your whole family are affected by this. So why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you?
I'm Barry Philpott. I worked in the mining industry, open pit mining, and fly-in, fly-out operations in northern Canada.
And what did things look like before all of this horror story occurred for you? What did your life used to look like?
Well, in my opinion, it was a dream life because I worked remote for a certain period of time, usually 2 weeks on, and then I'd get 2 weeks off of freedom that I could go and do whatever I wanted. And I was I guess a driven individual, highly active, engaged individual, and there was never a dull moment. So
you were kind of loving life?
Big time. I was living large, to say the least.
Yeah, and you have a family.
Yep.
And how long did that go on? How old were you when things changed?
I was 44 when things changed, and they came to an abrupting halt. It was like I hit a brick wall.
Yeah. And can you start with what happened? What made you notice things were changing?
Well, it started around May 26th of 2013. I woke up with extreme flu-like symptoms. My heart was pounding out of control, sweats and chills, migraine headaches that morphine wouldn't even kill the pain.
And what did you think? You just thought you had the flu?
Yeah, it felt like I got run over by a truck. And a series of events happened. I was in northern BC. My dad was in the hospital, and I got a phone call that he had passed away. And then just 2 minutes prior to that, I woke up and a bug walked across my face and had been in my ear.
So
yeah,
you felt like you were sick, and it was right then. Instantly, a bug walks across your face.
Yeah, so I don't know how long the bug was on me, but it was in my left ear. My ear was extremely itchy. I itched my ear so much there was blood on my finger, and I thought, I didn't put two and two together, and then when I got this phone call, I totally dismissed that incident.
Yes, you would have forgot about it because now you're thinking about your dad.
Yeah, so I was hyper-focused in a different direction, but my health went downhill 100 miles an hour to the point of, I didn't drive that day. I was a passenger in the car my wife was driving, and when I looked up, I could see the highway in front of me, and then I was seeing the same highway off coming at me from the left side as well. So I was having visual disturbance.
So all within like hours, you would say?
Yeah.
And so you were saying, I'm sick. You know, you're feeling like there's a bug and you're hoping it's going to pass. Not this bug.
Yeah.
But you're thinking there's a stomach bug and you're not thinking about, what did you think that bug was? I mean, it was unconscious, it was subconscious because you were in the middle of hearing about your dad. But when did you think about that bug? Was that way later?
I never thought about it till 6 years later.
Really? Okay, so let's go back to that day. You're super ill. You're thinking about your dad, and then what happened?
I started getting really nauseous.
Yeah.
My ability to concentrate was gone. Sort of like a brain fog, almost to a point of dementia. And then I started getting stabbing bone pains in the hands and feet, like there was 4-inch nails getting driven in with a hammer.
Right
so
away.
I because I was conditioned and raised to be the tough guy, to just persevere and push through, that's what I did. And I actually tried to go to work like that. Wow. So I was having visual disturbances, couldn't regulate body temperature, heart rate was out of control. I would stand up, lose all blood pressure, and near pass out. But I had just gotten my dream job a year before, so I was...
You were gonna go to work, and you thought in your mind you're gonna get better.
Yeah, and I think the average Joe would too.
Yeah.
because I was so hyper-focused now on dealing with the symptoms, I forgot all about the bug incident. I didn't even think about it.
Nope. Nope. And you wouldn't, naturally, kind of, you wouldn't. And so that day goes on, and then the second day you go into what? The same thing?
It just never let up.
It just never let up. And so you went to see the doctor. How long after did you go see the doctor?
Well, actually, on that trip, I went to emergency at a local hospital.
Okay.
And they asked me what was going on, and I explained, hey, I feel like I got a flu, and I feel like this, and my heart's out of control. And they're saying immediately, you're just stressed because of what you're dealing with right now.
With your dad.
Yeah. And I kept saying, no, something is
wrong.
not right here. So long story short, this went on for years. Ambulance rides, wake up with my heart out of control. What appeared to be anxiety was not. What appeared to be depression was not. But that's what they were telling me. So eventually I ended up working through 4 neurologists and then finally a neuropsychiatrist. I've been interviewed by a panel of medical experts. They all said a different diagnosis. So I've had a diagnosis of MS, trigeminal neuralgia, what was the other one I had? This is where the brain fog kicks in, and I can't remember.
That's okay.
Certain stuff.
But when you look those up,
none of it lined up.
You said your gut was like, this doesn't line up. Something's wrong. And this was over what, months that you were going to all of these places?
Months turned into years. 6 years later, my wife kept saying, Barry's got Lyme disease. So I had been tested 4 times in Canada. 4 times I passed a test in Canada.
So how long after this happened were you tested for Lyme's disease? And what made you go get that test?
At one point, I was in so much pain, I didn't want to continue, so I spent 50 days in the hospital. There, I had an internal medicine specialist work on me. He tested me for Lyme disease. My family doctor tested me twice. A neurologist tested me 4 times negative.
Wow.
I still didn't think about the tick bite or the tick in my ear. I still didn't put it all together. I was so sick and the brain fog was so bad, I couldn't put 2 and 2 together.
But when you were reading about Lyme's disease, did that line up?
I didn't read about it. My wife did. This is my wife's findings. My wife figured it out even after all the medical experts couldn't.
But they like to go by these tests. And if the test says no, then it's something else. And
yes.
Why do you think the test said no? Is there something that now you would say, okay, the test does it often get it wrong?
The test is accurate about 30% of the time because they're testing for 1 strain of the bacteria.
Okay.
So the plot gets a little thicker because when a tick bites you, there's more to the bite than an infection of Lyme disease. So in my case, I had 2 other co-infections that we know of. One is called Babesia, one is called Bartonella, and all 3 infections will give you a bunch of different symptoms. So once your immune system is overtaxed with all this, you'll be in a world of hurt where you wouldn't even be able to spell your own name. As a matter of fact, I couldn't remember the 4-digit PIN to open my telephone.
You have been through so much with this. This to this day. I know when you got here, you're in pain. And what did you say?
Feels like I'm going to die. Right now. That's what it feels like. And I appear well, so you could categorize it as I have an invisible illness.
Because you've learned to live with it and suppress. Because what are you supposed to do?
Well, when nobody believes you and they gaslight you every time you go to see a doctor, then you basically just put your head in the sand and you give up.
And you say, well, I guess I am crazy since you're all telling me I'm crazy, but you're the one who has to feel all of this.
Yeah.
And so your wife is doing this research, and this was how long after this started?
Well, I think about 5 years into it, she finally...
she said something to you?
Well, when the wife starts going on about something,
You listen.
You listen. After so long of her voicing her opinion or concerns, and I was trying to block everything out because some of the symptoms are you're very irritable, you're sound sensitive, you're light sensitive, and you're in pain. Can't regulate body temperature, migratory joint pain, brain fog. You just try and block everything out and you're hunkered down. So my wife kept beating the drum so much that I Google searched Calgary Lyme. And a lady's name came up who was a Chinese medicine practitioner. So I called her office and I said, I need to come see this lady. And they asked me what it was about. And I said, I'll just explain it when I get there. So there's two parts to that, because number one, I didn't have the energy or the focus to explain it. And number two, this lady had Lyme disease. So
she might understand.
She might understand. So I get to her office and she says, well, Mr. Philpott, what's the problem? And my opening statement was, I don't know. I'm in so much pain, I don't want to live anymore. And she said, do you get migratory joint pain, sweats and chills, migraine headaches, stabbing bone pain, mood swings, heart palpitations, air hunger? She had probably 20 different symptoms, and I answered yes to all of them.
Almost all of them, or all of them.
And then she says to me, you have Lyme disease, my friend. And I'm like, how do you know? And she goes, because I had it and you're telling me the same story. Because I was so doctor bred, I said, I need evidence. And she goes, your blood has to go to Germany.
Why?
Special.
The Germans check it better?
They test for different strains of the bacteria.
But why don't we know this now? Why wouldn't we do this?
That's a whole different topic.
Yeah. So did you feel, when she said you have Lyme's disease, did you feel this overwhelming sense of like horrible joy that someone gave you an answer?
Yes. I felt validated. And I think it turned the flag on for me, because she said, do you remember which day you got bit? And I said, March 26th of 2013, I brushed a bug off my face and there was blood in my ear. And she goes, that's your day.
Was that the first time you recollected?
Yeah.
And right then,
Because your brain's a problem-solving machine. So once it's cued to do something,
you were in the mode. You were in that line of thought, and all of a sudden your gut says, that's it. And you just have your answer, just like you. Yeah. And all of a sudden you remember that bug. Had she remembered a bug? Sounds like she could.
I didn't ask her if she remembered her incident, but 80% of the people don't know they got bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that.
So that's an alarming thing. And whatever concoction is in the bug is what you're going to get. So not every bug carries Babesia. Some carry rickettsia, some carry Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and all these different pathogens will present in different clusters of symptoms.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess a point we should make is, how many people are being misdiagnosed because of faulty testing?
What do you think? How many people are out there? I mean, that's why we're having this conversation, is because you have been through torture. You went through torture up to this day for years and years and years, and your family goes through it with you.
Yeah.
And you have to live this, and the only thing you can do is share your story, and we can hope that this gets out there and people are listening.
Yeah. Well,
And that we can prevent tick bites, or that people hear your story and go, maybe that's my issue.
Yeah. Well, I can spot it a mile away because I know what I'm looking for. I can almost tell by facial expressions on a person. But when you ask how many people have been, or suggest how many people have been misdiagnosed, leading experts, Dr. Richard Horowitz out of New York, he figures 4 to 6% of the population, and growing at an alarming rate. Number one, vector-borne illness. That's like a global pandemic.
What is a vector-borne illness?
Carried by insects.
Okay.
So
Really?
it's
But if that's the case, then wouldn't our testing be more thorough?
well, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on theories on that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you look at what's rising now with regards to medical problems, and I'll use autoimmune as an example.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does autoimmune mean to most people?
Well, I would say there's a few things that they say. There's like a fibromyalgia, or they have
Right.
there's a bunch of different things that if they can't figure out what it is, here's the guess. Fibromyalgia. I bet there's a whole nother list.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's very ironic that you would say that term. So my first treating doctor out of Seattle treated fibromyalgia. That was his specialty. One day a lady came in his office and said, I don't have fibromyalgia, I have Lyme disease.
Okay.
And his response was, how do you know? And she said, I sent my blood work to a lab in Germany. It came back positive. So what he did was he took 100 of his patients who had been diagnosed with fibro, sent them to the same lab, 73 came back positive for Lyme disease.
Wow.
Okay, so what's the chances of being misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia when you have a faulty test here?
Really high.
Yeah. So I've done 5 years of research or more now, listening to people's stories, following Facebook groups on autoimmune, undiagnosed neurological conditions, and everybody is listing out the same symptoms. So if there's no test to prove it, only a independent specialty lab that nobody knows about, that they have to pay out of pocket to find out the truth. I don't know. I base it all on symptoms. If you have the symptoms.
Can you go through, just for our viewers, can you go through in a little bit of a slower way? Because we kind of covered what some of these are because the doctor's asking you. But what are some of the symptoms that if somebody's watching this, what are some of the symptoms?
Well, if you had a former diagnosis of some autoimmune disease with a name that you don't really understand with no root cause, that's a red flag. If you get Lyme disease, you're going to have brain fog, migratory joint pain, chronic fatigue. If you have a co-infection called babesia, you won't be able to regulate body temperature. You'll struggle with air hunger, like starving to breathe. Ice pick headaches, like daggers stabbing at the back of your forehead and eyeballs. Brain fog. Then if you get Bartonella, you're going to get major mood swings, depression, and stabbing bone pains in the hands and feet. So this is a myriad of symptoms that are overwhelming to anybody.
And you've had like all of this?
Oh yeah.
And so once you found out, okay, this is Lyme's disease, this is actually what it is, you've turned a corner.
Yep.
And there isn't really a cure for you. But what happens after you figure out you have a diagnosis? What does your life look like? What did you do then? Is it too late?
Yeah, I think I went into a state of denial, and then I went into a state of survival mode, like, okay, what is the best treatment possible? Where can I get it? Let's target that. ASAP,
Let's go.
100 miles an hour, let's do it. So I found this doctor in Seattle, which when I found a lady here in Calgary that helped me get diagnosed, I asked her, how long is it going to take me to get well? And she said 4 years. I said, I don't have 4 years. So I sourced out this doctor in the States, and I said, what do we do here? Because I was doctor bred, I had to have the proper doctor in front of it, which was, now in hindsight's 2020, was the wrong approach. But
Can I stop you for 1 second and say, when you said, I don't have 4 years,
no, I didn't.
why?
Because I didn't feel I could survive it. That's
Yeah,
how low I was.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah. And
You're like, I'm going to die.
yeah, that's what it felt like.
So 4 years is a lifetime.
I didn't want to live another day like it. So when I found a doctor in the States, I took antibiotics.
Okay.
Very hardcore, triple combination, the strongest potent antibiotics you could get that would work intercellular. They would work on the cyst form of Lyme, and they would penetrate biofilms that the Lyme bacteria will protect themselves in. So when you take a medication for an illness, you would expect to get better.
You didn't?
Doesn't work that way. So I actually got about 100 times worse.
Really?
So you're killing off a foreign invader in the body. So if you have millions of bacteria that set up a colony in the body, then you kill them off with antibiotics. The immune system targets each independent piece. Mm-hmm. So I guess the action that's happening in the body is the white blood cell will release a chemical compound we'll call cytokines. And cytokines will go out and target that dead bacteria and extract it from the system. So the more bacteria, the more cytokines. And what I mean by cytokines is cytokines bring on pain in the system. So if you were to get injured, if you broke an arm or something, your white blood cells would release cytokines.
Yeah.
The bigger the break or the bigger the impact that you have, the more cytokine release. The more cytokines, the more pain. So the more dead bacteria, the more pain I was in.
Wow.
So every joint felt like it was bone on bone. Oh. So when the cytokine level goes up in the body, you lose more cognitive ability. So your memory goes, it feels like you're on a bad drug, man. It's a spiral downhill that I didn't think I was going to survive.
What was your thoughts?
My thoughts was MAID. I applied for MAID in 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
You just couldn't live through it?
That's how bad. But the way the system is set up is you have to have a proper diagnosis in order for that plan to work, so I got turned down. So I had no option but to turn and face it. So I kept taking treatment after treatment. So when you kill antibiotics or kill it with antibiotics, yeast will rise in your system. So I had to quit antibiotics, go on an antifungal treatment to kill the yeast. That plugged my liver. Then I had to take liquid injections of glutathione to clear the liver. Glutathione will release all the metals in your system. So I was leaching mercury out of my fillings for weeks. I could taste it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
just one thing brings on another.
Yeah, domino effect.
And when you talk to your doctor about this, is this something that he had seen quite a bit before? Like, was he like, okay, when you take these antibiotics, this is potentially going to happen, I've seen it before, or he was surprised?
No, he wasn't shocked at all.
Okay.
So this doctor was Lyme-literate. He treated it for 20 years.
Okay. He's a specialist.
Specialist in it. The regular medical doctor I would talk to just didn't.
No, they don't know.
As a matter of fact, they actually denied any of the test results I had from Germany and would not refer me to a infectious disease specialist in Canada. So that was a roadblock, a dead wall right there, a brick wall. And I watched so many people trying to go this route still, and I'm like, you're wasting your time. You got to find a Lyme-literate specialist.
I just couldn't imagine being a doctor and saying like, well, we don't have the answer, but these guys, their answer is wrong.
That's right.
You have to just stay living like this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Instead of going, whoa, maybe they're onto something. Let's see if we can help this guy. Wow.
So
what?
Still to this day, they won't acknowledge it.
Why? Is this a pride thing?
It almost seems like that, but it also seems like a bit of a scheme to me, a bit of a scam. So when you think about it, so I've met people that have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, MS, ALS, Parkinson's, rheumatoid arthritis, and then they test themselves in Germany and find out the truth that they got Lyme disease. What do you think is wrong with the medical system here? A, we have faulty testing, and B, we have a lineup at the medical system all getting diagnosed with autoimmune. I'm not saying that all of these autoimmune cases are Lyme disease.
But as we can see, there's a big percentage.
Exactly. And the theory of Dr. Richard Horowitz, who is the head of the ILADS Association out of New York, he says the root cause of autoimmune could be Lyme disease, a tick-borne illness, different strains of the bacteria presenting in different clusters of symptoms.
So I might be going off on a crazy lady thing because I don't have a clue. But I've also seen, or I guess I've read, that a lot of people think, and you can correct me because I just don't know. I've also seen that a lot of people think that a lot of the autoimmune diseases are because of parasites.
Well, when you
have you read about that at all?
Oh, I've read about it all.
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of people with that theory. I did meet a lady who cured herself of MS and says that the root cause is parasites and yeast in the system. So I asked her what her opinion was on Lyme disease, and she said, it's a parasite, it's one and the same.
I was wondering what someone would say about that.
Yeah, so this is a very wide topic and a deep, dark hole to go down. But if anybody is complaining about chronic pain, flu-like symptoms, headaches, air hunger, confusion, mood swings, and they're basically a hypochondriac, I'd be looking at getting properly tested at Armin Labs or IGenix Labs in California.
Can I ask you, when you've been going through all of this for all of these years, how has this affected your family?
Well,
it has to affect all of you, because when you're hurting, everyone else is hurting, and they care, you know?
It's people care, but they don't know how to respond.
Yeah.
So when a person is chronically complaining, and that's where I was, a lot of people step back and go, we can't help you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people draw their own conclusions based on their own experience. So from the outside, sure, it looked like anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
But anxiety and depression do not bring on pain like that, or confusion.
You can feel it in your own body.
Oh, yeah.
You know that that's not what that is.
Yeah. So the unfortunate part of it now is Lyme disease has permanent symptoms. So I don't know if any of this will ever go away.
Has any of it got better?
Some of it's got better. But I think the long-term damage is done.
Yeah.
So
is time of an essence?
I haven't improved in the past 3 or 4 years.
Would you say if somebody noticed a bug or somebody noticed a tick, it could be on their side to immediately go get antibiotics? Or what would you say to the person, say I had a tick on me, because I'm in the woods a lot.
Yeah.
Say I have a tick on me. What do you suggest? What do we do? Do you go in and get tested, and then we don't even know if the test will show?
It's a waste of time to get tested, but go get antibiotics.
Just say, I want antibiotics.
Demand.
Okay.
If you can't get them, find a naturopathic doctor in British Columbia. They're licensed to deal with this.
Okay.
A lot of people don't get a bullseye rash. A lot of people don't get Bell's palsy.
They don't even know.
They don't even know. So ticks are going to go for warm, moist areas where they can bite you and embed in you. And then as they fill up, this bacteria and pathogens get regurgitated into you.
Wow. So when we go in the woods, we should be wearing, I think you told me this, white tall socks.
Yeah.
Cover your body.
Exactly.
Wear DEET. I think your wife said, I think you said, right?
And
wear DEET.
Wear a shirt with a collar on it, so if a tick walks up your back or something, it gets under the collar and then it can't get to you. It'll just stay there. It'll get stuck there.
All really good tips.
Yeah. And then anytime you're out in the bush or in long grass or your dog's in long grass, any clothes, take it and put it in the dryer on high heat for 30 minutes after.
Really?
Your chances of killing one are better. So I always tell people, like, you see the family down at City Park all the time, and they got the kids and they got the blanket on the ground and they're having a picnic and it looks like a great time.
That's how it happens.
What if a tick sticks to that blanket, you come home and that blanket's sitting on your couch? That tick is looking for its next meal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So look at your blankets as well. They can come home on stuff, right?
Yeah.
And can you tell me right now, what does your life look like now? Because things changed after your whole body has changed. And how has your life changed and suffered? Because what does your job look like now?
Well,
what happened?
For me, I haven't worked since I got bit. I attempted several times and failed. And this is when I didn't know. So I was continuing to attempt to get well to go to work until I learned the truth. Here's what happens to most people. You get so ill, nobody believes you.
They think you're crazy.
They think you're crazy. Once you find out, the medical system doesn't cover any treatment costs, so it's all out-of-pocket expenses. So
What
you
does that look like?
That looks like for 5 years about $300,000. Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
I know it is, but when it comes down to your health, you'll pay any price.
You will pay anything.
And that's where what I was willing to do. I was willing
Of
to
course.
just beat my way through it, right?
Of course. You'll throw any amount of money for your health.
So now what it looks like now is I know you can't tell because it's invisible, but I'm in 8 out of 10 discomfort. I wake every day and I'm in shock that I woke up because it feels like I'm going to go. I'm actually sick in my dreams, and it's very disturbing when you wake. It's like, oh no, here we go again. Mm-hmm. So I persevere throughout the week, and then when my wife gets the weekend off, she usually takes me on a backcountry drive to get me distracted. She gets home at the end of each day and try to take me out for coffee or to visit or something for social interaction. But other than that, it's like head down and suffer. It is a marathon of hell that you don't want to go through. So that's why I tell everybody, do your tick checks, be diligent, wear some type of spray, any type. I don't care what it is. Tape your legs when you go in the bush. Check your pets. Just be diligent.
Yeah.
And I
Check
don't care,
your pets. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care what time of year it is.
Okay.
Just do them, because these things can live in your house for who knows how long. Right?
Really.
So.
And I know you just don't. You sometimes just don't think about it. And I know when we met, it was like, I should probably really. I do know some people who have had Lyme's, maybe as kids. I've never heard it as crazy of a story as you, but this is like, I could tell it was just completely life-changing for you.
Oh, yeah.
And is there anything that you take now, supplements or like anything that touches the pain?
No.
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 You're not on anything, really?
No. It's an interesting question, because your immune system will respond if anything is out of check. It's got a priority checklist, and it will try to fix whatever is going on. So for me, because I took all the antibiotics, I've killed my digestive tract.
Okay.
So there's bacteria
Yes.
that don't exist in me. Yeah. So what I think is happening now is the food's not getting broken down. Mm-hmm. Microscopic pieces of protein and particles are getting into the bloodstream, and the immune system is attacking it as if it's a foreign invader. So the discomfort is 8 out of 10 on a daily basis, to the point where I don't really want to have too much of a conversation, even though I'm a very social individual.
Yeah, it's just too exhausting. It just hurts too much.
Yeah.
I know, even you coming in here today, I could just see you in pain.
Yeah, you can tell
You're
when
just tensed.
a person's in protection mode,
Yeah,
right?
that's protection mode, and you have to live that way all the time.
Yeah. It's interesting because I waited 3 years to see a specialist that treated Lyme in Calgary. His lineup was so long, I waited 3 years.
Wow.
And one of the conditions to see this guy was I had to get retested at the same lab.
At the same lab
in Germany.
In Germany.
Yeah. So $1,800 later, I made the list to see this guy, and my test came back negative.
Oh.
Yes.
How devastating.
Yes, very good news. And that's what he said. I have good news and bad news. And I said, well, let's hear the good news. He goes, you tested negative. And I go, well, that's good. I go, what's the bad news? He goes, I think you're about as good as you're going to get. And I left that appointment. It all happened in a short 10-minute window, and I left that appointment, and I asked myself, hey man, can you continue to persevere and live like this? And the answer was no. But here I am 3 years later, still pushing forward. For what, I have no idea. I've tried many treatments since. I've tried very modified diets to the point where I lost 50 pounds in no time. Yeah. So I was near carnivore diet.
And then your stomach's trying to break up all of that, and any amount of probiotics aren't helping your gut bacteria, and it's just, you live with so much.
It's interesting to have this conversation with you, because hopefully lots of viewers will see it. And I can just imagine what everybody's perception is is going to be. Well, you should take probiotics and you should do this for gut health. I've tried all of that.
You're past that.
Yeah, I've
You're
tried.
past that.
I've tried double doses and triple doses of all this stuff. So
Everyone always has advice, but
yeah,
we have our own bodies and what they are going through, and you have a different case. Everyone has their own unique case. So
That's right.
everyone will have an idea. Everyone will be like, oh, well, he looks fine to me. And it's like, yeah, that's not how it works.
yeah. Would you like to go for a hike in long grass with no DEET on? And we'll see how at risk you put yourself and how comfortable you get, right?
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I give people the analogy. You know, if your car broke down,
Yeah.
and you fixed it, and all the other models like that were broken down, you would go and try and help those people, correct?
Yes. And that's why we're
my
here. And I know.
Yeah, it's not the job I want, but unfortunately, that's the job I have
That's the
right
job that you've been given.
now. Yeah, raise awareness.
Raise awareness.
And hopefully change somebody's life and get them on the healing path.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
And is there anything else you want to add? Because this has been your whole life. You can add anything. Is there anything you'd want to share with your viewers? And
Well, I guess deep down in my heart, I just want my life back. I want it back to normal, what I was used to. The ability to go to work, the ability to get out and have my freedom and independence back. Because right now, I'm very codependent. My wife looks after me and makes sure I have meals and everything that I need while she's away at work. And then
she sounds like a pretty lovely wife.
very interesting. Yes. I
She
encourage
helped you
Yeah.
to find out it was Lyme's disease.
Yeah.
And
My mother always used to call her an angel from heaven. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming and sharing this.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we're going to do everything we can to get this story out. And it's horrible, but the only thing we can do is try to take lemons and make lemonade for someone else to drink.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
So thank you so much, Barry.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming here so much.